So we want to go over some headlines, some videos, but first let's can you update people about this story about it's a meta story about Ukraine? Not meta as in Facebook, but it's a meta story about a story, but about a CBS story on Ukraine.
Yeah, so this just came out yesterday, I believe. CBS did an investigative piece on Ukraine and the weapons that the United States is sending over there and where they're going. And looking into it, they found that something about like around 30% of them are unaccounted for. And like they just don't know where they go after they get off the truck or the boat or however they get there.
We're seeing this incredible historic flow of weapons coming into Ukraine. Do we have any sense as to where they're going?
We don't know. There is really no information as to where they're going at all.
All this stuff goes to the border, and then kind of like something happens, it kind of like 30% maybe reaches its final destination.
30%?
Apparently it was only 30% were accounted for. 70% are unaccounted for.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even worse than we thought. You were just trying to be charitable to the other side.
Yeah.
But,
A bit of the doubt, but
yeah.
yes.
Wow. Even worse.
So they aired it, and then they got complaints from the Ukrainian government, and they pulled it, saying that they had additional information to add and they were revising it, but it is currently not up. So, yeah, apparently, if you're critical of the Ukrainian government, Amnesty International also tweeted something a couple days ago that their Ukrainian army or the government is suspected of war crimes or human rights abuses, something like that, and got a whole lot of vitriol online for that one. So, yeah, who knows
Wow.
where they're going? Who knows if they're getting into the? I think it was they weren't getting into the hands of the soldiers. Maybe getting sold to other people. Maybe getting just sitting in a warehouse somewhere. Who knows?
Now, CBS is not to be confused with Dr. CBS, our
Yeah,
guest. So
that's
don't get it twisted, guys.
CBS is less credentialed than Dr. CBS.
Yeah, much less credentialed. I like the idea that CBS got additional reporting. It's like, dear CBS, I'm in hands of very responsible member of Ukrainian army. Like they track down the weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love.
Yeah. Oh, we just found some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got a letter in the first person from an actual weapon telling CBS, telling the network where they were.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's scary. That's really quite insane. And shout out, by the way, to Lindsay Snell, who's a great journalist. We had her on Useful Idiots last week. I'm going to have her on this show soon because she's coming out with another report. And she actually did some reporting on the ground in Ukraine. And she also talked about how the corruption and the theft of weapons, both within Ukraine and on their way to Ukraine, was just something that even these foreign soldiers she was talking to, because she basically spoke to a lot of people coming from other countries to Ukraine, they were all very aware of that. There was no real controversy over it, and these are people who are fighting on the Ukrainian side, who've come abroad. So, well, that is some nice. I hope Chomsky saw that. That must be very gratifying
Yeah.
when the stuff you write about
One of
happens
the 4
in real
filters of
time.
the propaganda machine.
Yeah, the propaganda machine. Yeah. Brad, sure. Show us that amnesty tweet. Brad is telling us he can show the amnesty tweet. Let's see.
Yeah.
Ukrainian forces have put civilians in harm's way by establishing bases and operating weapon systems in populated residential areas. Such tactics violate international humanitarian law and endanger civilians, so they turn civilian objects into military targets. So, guys, just so you know, so you can keep track, it turns out Amnesty International is not only anti-Semitic, but it must be Putinist. And of course, I'm saying that because people call Amnesty International anti-Semitic for just acknowledging that there's apartheid in Israel. Something that B'Tselem, the Israeli human rights organization focusing on the occupation, acknowledges as well. So you're either an anti-Semite or self-loathing Jew.